That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Jason David Frank.
Boom shakalaka.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. If you wouldn't mind, take a minute, go down and subscribe. You come back over and over again. We've got authors, filmmakers, artists, creative minds of all kinds on the show. And we're here at Authors in a Box in the Indian River Mall in Vero, Florida. And we're hanging with an old friend, author Violet Favero. Silly Yaya herself.
Hey, it's good
thanks
to
for
see
coming
you
back.
Again.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, you've had an eventful year.
I have.
You have.
I have.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And you know, I know our audience is going to notice that they haven't seen a lot. So how are you, first of all?
I'm doing better.
Recovering?
I'm healing. I'm recovering. I had an extensive shoulder surgery, actually a rebuilding of my shoulder.
You know, they're all like 17 out there. Someday you're going to be telling the same stories that we tell.
Yeah, it's actually my third shoulder surgery.
Wow.
So, and as you know, I illustrate my own books.
Yes.
So, and I'm right-handed. It was on the right side.
Oh,
so
my.
because of that, I had to put my illustrating aside, but I'm back. I'm back.
And strong, going strong.
Yeah.
I see. And you know, it looks like you kept busy over there while you were recovering.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I could still use the computer, so.
Well, there you go. We're going to remind everybody, Violet is the author of Silly Yaya.
Yeah,
which
remember
is,
that?
That's right. For those of you all that don't know, Yaya is actually one of the many terms of endearment for grandma.
Yeah.
Okay, grandmother, grandma.
That's right.
Yaya.
That's right.
There are tons of them. What do you call your grandmother? Put it in the comments down below. Not that one. That guy. You gotta watch that guy. Yeah. But so let's remind them about Silly Yaya.
Yeah,
real quick.
so Silly Yaya is a book about grandparent names, all the unique grandparent names that kids call their grandmothers. I'm Yaya, as you mentioned, that's Greek. There's Loopy, Jaja, Mimir, Grammy.
Wow.
Oh gosh, and I have grandfather names in the book too, Bobbis and Poppy and Bebop.
Wow.
And there's a spot at the end of the book for the grandchild and grandparent to write the special grandparent name together. So it becomes a keepsake book.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very awesome. We're going to put a link down below so you can get your very own copy of Silly Yaya. Share it with your loved one, share it with your child, share it with your grandchild. Find out what they call you when you're not listening. Or when you are listening.
Oh yeah.
Children will say anything to anybody anytime, which is the beautiful thing about kids.
They will. And so when I was recovering, I thought, well, let me augment my book. So I have grandmother journals. These are just two, Yaya and Nana. Right?
Very cool.
And they're 120 pages, and then inside, scattered throughout, are some little sayings about being a grandmother, like grandchildren come to my house to be spoiled.
Very true.
Being a grandparent's a magical kind of love.
It is.
Like
you know, it is. We're on our fourth grandchild now. And two of them are shiny and brand new. The warranty hasn't even expired yet.
Oh, how exciting!
And so, but it is a unique experience.
It is.
You know, I was used to being dad. You know, kind of the big. The disciplinary, and now I get to be fun.
Now you're the spoiler.
Yeah, I get to be the cool guy.
And that's our job, really, as a grandparent, is to spoil and be fun and do all the things that we wouldn't allow our children to do. But suddenly it's okay when our grandkids do.
You know, it is. It's a very different way of seeing things. I think part of it is we don't actually have the responsibility at home, so we get to do all the loving that we did with our own kids. But we're not limited by having to know that when they go out into the world, we're responsible for that.
Right, we're not the lesson teachers.
That's right. So
That's right.
Mom and Dad get to do that. we just get to just shower them with whatever
it's
love we have.
great.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
You have another one here. This looks really neat.
I am so excited about this.
Wow.
This is, I'm writing my graphic novel.
Wow.
So this is a journal
Okay.
for kids who may not know how to journal their feelings, but they love to draw and they love to write. You know, kids love graphic novels.
Absolutely.
So there's some instruction in here to tell them how to do a graphic novel. It explains, you know, just the talk bubbles.
Wow.
And then there are over 100 pages of 4 different styles of templates, comic templates for them to use.
Different style panels and
Different
things.
panels.
Wow.
So now imagine the child that's a reluctant reader. So you might have a child who doesn't like to read, but they love to draw. But when they're doing these comics and graphic novels, not only are they drawing, but they're writing a story. And when you're writing a story, by God, you're reading.
You are.
You're
and
reading.
It's a wonderful format. Those of you who watch the Hangin' With Web Show on a regular basis know that we are a huge proponent of a program here in Florida called Comics in the Classroom. Our dear, dear friend, Nicole Jobin, who is a reading, she's a team leader, a reading team leader for reading teachers. And she has a program called Comics in the Classroom to bring comic books in to help reluctant readers to want to read.
Yes.
By giving them the stories that they're the most interested in.
Absolutely.
We have been on several panels with Nicole, and we talk about, one of the things we like to talk about is how comics and comic art and graphic novel art has lent itself, it really truly is literature. And it's not bad for it's not going to rot your kids' minds, it's not bad for them at all. I sat on a panel once where I recently had an opportunity to compare the Hulk to Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where I said, so you're literally getting the same story. They've changed the names and they've made it cool for kids, but in the end, it's about the duality of human beings.
Absolutely.
To teach a child to read the Hulk is to teach them to read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when they're in high school or college.
Absolutely.
To teach them how to write their own, to create their own, is an amazing, amazing thing.
And what an avenue if you had to write a book report. If our schools would allow children to do that in a graphic novel or comic format.
Yeah, and it's a format they're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
They would read it and they would write it, and so many, you know, from the perspective of professional artists, if we would read it, then we write it better.
Yes.
If we wouldn't read it, we probably can't write it very well.
No.
I tell people I write crime novels. If somebody gave me a romance and said, write a romance novel, I'd be lost. I don't read them very often, and because I don't read them very often, I know I can't write them well.
Absolutely.
Look at my peers.
Absolutely.
My peers will tell me when I get it all wrong. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
though.
and then think of this: if your child is going through a difficult time and they don't understand maybe how to journal, but if you give them this style of journal where they can draw and then write what they're feeling in a format that they're comfortable with, instead of just lines, you know, lined pages.
You know, my kids used to come home from school when they were younger, and they would have started their own little comic books.
Yes.
And remember, they would just take paper and they would draw the panels.
Absolutely.
And whether it was stick figures or whether, as they got older, the drawings got better, and they would always have these little projects that they're doing. That's an amazing way to start that journey.
And I sized it this size purposefully that a kid can tuck it under their arm, carry their pencil, so when a little boy's waiting for a sister to get done with dance class, he can draw. When a little girl's waiting for her brother to get done with karate, she can draw and write. It's portable.
That really is amazing.
Thank
it really
you.
is. So, your grandchildren.
I've got 9 granddaughters.
9 granddaughters. Wow.
And they love
She's
this.
got almost 2 women's basketball teams.
Yes.
Almost. Have any of them taken up art or taken up, you know?
Well, yes. My 8-year-old granddaughter actually spends a lot of time with me, and I had to get an additional desk in my studio, so when I'm drawing, she's at her desk drawing, and she's stapling papers together and drawing pictures. And as a matter of fact, one of the example pages in the graphic novel is one of her drawings that I used and put in there.
8 years old. She's a published illustrator.
Yep, that's right.
Little shout out, and your granddaughter's name is?
Lucci.
Lucci. Lucci, the published illustrator in Violet Favero's latest work, which is my graphic novel. I'm writing my graphic novel, and this is a great start. This is a journal for children to start by journaling using pictures and word bubbles and the things that are popular with them right now.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Okay, so last year we met at Christmas time.
We did.
We talked about, as your family grows, we're talking about family traditions at Christmas time, being Yaya at Christmas time and the holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good Christmas cookie story for this year?
So, as you might remember, I'm a big Grinch fan.
Yes.
So I have 3 Christmas trees at home. One of them's a Grinch tree. We make Grinch cookies, green cookies with a heart in the middle every Christmas. On the 16th is Silly Yaya's Christmas cookie and crafting extravaganza at my house.
Wow.
This year we are making Grinch boogers, AKA slime.
That's cool.
The kids love it.
It doesn't matter that I'm older. That's cool.
We are,
I'm going to her house.
We're making heart-shaped green Rice Krispie treats for the Grinch's heart with the red candy.
Are you excited by the new Grinch project coming out?
I saw the new Grinch movie.
Okay.
And I think I might be a Grinch snob. I'm kind of loving the classic and the Jim Carrey, so I don't know.
I have to admit, I was not overall a Jim Carrey fan. He's an extremely funny man, exceptionally talented. It wasn't my cup of tea, the humor from Jim Carrey, until
he did the Grinch.
He did the Grinch. And his elastic face and his ability to emote through all of those prosthetics.
His interpretation was,
brilliant.
as a child, what I thought the Grinch was.
Would have been like, that's right. And of course, we grew up with the old animated Grinch.
Yes, yes.
I haven't seen the new one yet. I'm waiting. My favorite part of the new Grinch is simply Benjamin Cumberbatch, because if he puts his name on anything, I'll watch it just because his name is on it.
And I won't give it away, but at the end, the Grinch gives a toast at dinner in the new movie, and that will melt your heart.
Take my money. I'm on my way. Folks, we have to wrap it up. We've been hanging with our good friend, author Violet Favero, the author of Silly Yaya, and also of I'm Writing My Graphic Novel. You gotta pick that one up for the kids. Make sure it goes in their Christmas stocking this year, next year, whenever. Just get it to them so they can start writing and reading. We're gonna say thank you to our partners and friends, our great friends at Pound the Grape in Melbourne, Florida, our good friend Yvonne Mason over at Off the Chain Radio, our friends at Famous Faces and Funny, Space Coast Comics, Something Unique Magazine. These are the people who share these videos all over the World Wide Web. We certainly hope you will too. Please subscribe. I'll wait. Subscribe now. All right. Keep logging on. Keep tuning in and see who we're hanging with next. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was fabulous.